This is a tire. The main parts of a tire are your tire bead. They're on both sides of the tire. They run the circumference of the inside of the tire. They're made of steel and copper cords. The next part is your sidewall, and then you got your tread area, and then it just repeats. You got your sidewall here and the other bead. The bead is real important because especially if you got a tubeless tire, it's the part of the tire that makes contact with the rim and seals in the air. On the inside of the tire, you got your tire lining. That helps to prevent punctures. If you got a tubeless tire, it holds in the air. It's also a boundary between the next layer, which would be the body layer, and whatever's on the inside of the tire. If it's tubeless, it's just air, and then if it's a tube, there's a tube there. The main areas of the tire that you can't see without cutting the tire open are the body ply and belt ply, and they're very important to the construction of the tire and strength of the tire. The body ply basically makes up the main framework of the tire, and the body ply is made of either nylon, Kevlar, rayon, or polyester. And basically body ply just means layer. And they're just layers of that material that run from one bead across to the other bead. And if you can imagine a imaginary center line running the length of the tire, if that layer, that body ply, is running from one bead to the next bead, and it creates an angle of 38 or 30 degrees with that imaginary center line, it's called the bias ply. And if that layer runs from one bead to the other bead and creates a perpendicular angle, 90-degree angle with that imaginary center line, it's called a radial ply. Radial plies are the most common type tire you'll find today, and they're the best tire, offer the most stability and longer tread life. The next layer is the belted ply. That's on top of the body ply, and it basically just increases the tread life and just creates more stability in the tire. And that's usually made with steel cords, but can also be made with nylon, Kevlar, fiberglass, and rayon. Bias ply tires do not have the belt layer. They're older tires. Usually won't find them on motorcycles unless it's an old bike. Some of the older bikes have rim profiles that will require the bias ply type tire. But most tires you're going to see nowadays are the radial ply. And all radial ply tires include that belt layer, which again reinforces the tire, offers better stability and tread life. The next layer above the belt layer is your tread area. It's the rubber that creates your tread. You can see that, obviously. It's where my finger is. And then you get different patterns of tread depending on what the tire is going to be used for. When they construct a tire, all these areas that I've mentioned, the inner layer, the body ply, the belt ply, the tread area, they're all spliced together. They're all intertwined to create one strong unit. Here's an example of a dual sport tire. It's a Dunlop K750. It's a 130 by 80-17. 130 is the width of the tread in millimeters. 80 is the aspect ratio, which is the height of the tire. So the height of the tire would be 80% of 130 expressed in millimeters. 17 is the diameter of the rim in inches. And another important number and letter is the 65S. 65 is a load index, and you can refer to the load index chart at the manufacturer of the tire's website. So what this means is 65 is this tire has a load index rating of 639 pounds at maximum PSI, which is 36 PSI measured cold. S is the speed rating, which for this tire it's 112 miles per hour. So this tire should not be used over 112 miles per hour. come over here, I'll show you the tread pattern. This is a tread pattern for a dual sport tire. Tread pattern gets more coarse the more the tire is intended for dirt. So, and then for street use, it's more smooth. And this tire is like somewhere in between. These little marks here. This is also an example of a worn out tire. This tire needs to be replaced. This little mark here is it's called a wear bar. When this wear bar is even with the tread, this tire needs to go. You can also measure the tread depth. There's a tread depth gauge. You stick this part of the gauge inside the tread where you have the most wear, like so, and then you press it down all the way. It also gives you a measurement in millimeters and 30 seconds of an inch. Most measurements I've seen are almost always in 30 seconds of an inch. The minimum legal limit for these tires is 2 30-seconds of an inch, and this tire is in between 1 and 2 30-seconds. So this is definitely this tire definitely has to go. Here's an example of a street tire. This is on a Harley-Davidson Sportster. It's a Dunlop D407. It's a 200 by 55 R17. 200 is the width of the tread in millimeters. 55 is the aspect ratio, which is means that the height of this tire is 55% of 200 and expressed in millimeters. R is just means radial, so that body ply layer is a radial ply tire. 17 is the diameter of the tire, which is 17 inches. And then 17V, 78 is the load index, which is 937 pounds for this tire. V is a speed rating, which is 149 miles per hour. Another interesting thing on this tire, it tells you that it's a four ply tire. I don't think you can see this with the camera. It says 4 plies, which means it's 4 layers. 2 of the layers are nylon, and the other 2 layers are aramid, which is just, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it's just another word for Kevlar. Let's take a look at the tread. You can see street tires, they start to smooth out. This is a tread on this tire. It's a wide, very wide tire, 200 millimeters. If you want to measure the tread depth, you just pick usually the center of the tire, which has the most wear, and insert this piece into the tread. Pull it out. This tire measures just above 6 30-seconds, so this tire's still got plenty of wear on it. This is really cool. Here's an example of an old bias ply tire. This is on a original tire on a 1971 Hodaka Ace. It's a 3.0-18, which means that the width of the tread on this tire is 3 inches, and the diameter of the rim is 18 inches. That's a 4 ply rating, which means that body ply, bias ply area of the tire has four layers. And then you come around here. You can see the tread pattern on this tire. This is a trail bike tire. Not quite as coarse as a strictly dirt tire, but it's getting there. It's getting awfully close. It's more coarse than the dual purpose tire. And you can see this tire is fairly new, so not much wear on it at all. Here's another cool tire. This is on an old Honda XR. This is a strictly dirt tire, and it's made by Kinda. It's a Taiwan, I guess, company. And over here you can see that, I don't know if you can see this, it's a 5.10-17, which means that the tread width of this tire here is 5.1 inches, and 17 is the diameter of this rim. I've noticed that the older these tires get, the more they display these values in inches instead of millimeters. This is a tube type tire, and if you come around here, you can see let me move the light over here. You can see the tread pattern on these dirt bikes, look how coarse it is compared to the dual sport and the trail bike tire and the street tire. You can see how much space there is in between these knobbies. But anyway, I love these cool old bikes. Anyway, thanks for watching.